Eccentric Man channel is sponsored by Lost Ark Games in Stevenage. They should be opening when the COVID lockdown is over. Greetings from the Eccentric Man, and this video is in response to Leon T66 and his video with regards to the armies that he has painted. And I thought I'd do the same sort of thing. So let's have a look from when I started. Unfortunately, I started wargaming in 1981, painted loads of historical armies and sold them, and don't have pictures of them. And then I discovered Warhammer, and I'm going to start with my first Warhammer army. This is a small selection of my first ever Warhammer fantasy army. And it got me into that, and I was playing that for an awful long time until the end of Warhammer. But this is some of my favourite figures. I've got a big army, probably in old money it was over 2,500 points. But we've got the little snotlings, wolf chariots, goblin wolf chariots, the metal bull riders, the snotling pump wagon, and the trolls. And of course at the background there is the mangler squigs. And a little story, I went to a tournament at Warhammer World and was playing a game, and I got told off. And I got told that I couldn't use the mangler squigs on the left because they weren't right. They needed to be one on top of the other, like the one next to them, because of line of sight. And the guy who was overseeing got really irate because I told him, well, yeah, but people can see what height they should be, so there's no advantage to me. He didn't quite get it. And sometimes that's a mentality I found at Warhammer World. But I do like them. I've had a shed load of Warhammer fantasy armies over the time. You'll see them as we go through. In fact, 9, but I've only got this one left now. Nowadays, I've only got the orcs, but this was one of the armies that I painted up, and this is the Skaven. Quite a big troop, infantry sort of army. Loads of them painted up, are the rats. And the big war machines that went with them. Yeah, very nice little army. Sold on to one of my friends, so I will see it now and again. Well, same really with the Lizardman army here. That's gone to a friend as well. So they are in safekeeping. There's some big gribblies. This was an interesting paint scheme. Pink with white dots. But it worked, which was really strange. Next up, I did like this one, the Khemri army. Again, fortunately, gone to friends. A nice old vibe to it. So lots of chariots. And then my Chaos Demons. I got them when they were really bad in Warhammer Fantasy. And then after I had them for a couple of years, they changed the codex and they became really good. So that was a bonus. So yep, there they go. The remnants of the Warhammer, but all gone. With the demise of Warhammer Fantasy, we turned to something different, which was history and bolt action. And I really have enjoyed bolt action. And if you check out the channel, you'll see so many bolt action games. And we've played that for quite some time. This was my Africa Corps army, and then I went on to build an Italian army. I've got quite a few bolt action armies, as you'll be able to see them in my videos and battle reports. But it has given me something more now to look at within history. That was a bit of a game, painting those ones up. Got my Blitzkrieg army. They were very nice. I enjoyed painting up those. And then more history, and we went into the French and Indian Wars. Galloping Major figures, they were very nice to paint up. Great figures, lovely character in them. And near enough all my army, I've got both sides, French, Canadians and the British, and they're all Galloping Majors. And they look very nice on the table. So started off with painting those. Had a dabble with American Civil War and painted up the Perry's Battle in a Box, and that was both the Union and the Confederate size, around about 180 figures, perhaps 200 figures, all plastics, and painted those. But I've sold those on as well. For some reason I just didn't like the plastic Perry ACW range, so I've now gone into metal. One of my big long-running projects, and if you check out the videos, you'll see terrain and you'll see figures on them, is my Op Sea Lion, and I've been working on these for a good 3 to 4 years, I would think now. A variety of figures, mostly Warlord, because they do make some very nice metal figures. Plastics in there as well, and I've got some bad Squiddo games thrown in, the land girls and the ladies, and some of their other key pictures as well. Got some artisan Fallschirmjägers, and I've got another lot of Crusaders to paint up. But yeah, I've got 3 big scenarios, at least 3 big scenarios in my head to get round to doing with them, and we'll get there soon. So yeah, it's on the go. My friend John, who I game with, and you may know him as Strong Oak Painting, or even Grandad Gamer now on his video channel. Check him out. Went up to Nottingham for an open day, and they had a crazy discount on boxes, so I got the Liberty or Death box set for the American War of Independence. So that was it. Time to paint up 2 more sides, because I like having opponents to put against one another so that I can get games in. I would say that John has been a bad influence as well, but I've also been a bad influence on him. So he got me into Rebels and Patriots, and a fun little rule set that is. So I wanted something to go against his American Civil War, so I got myself the British Canadian Intervention Force, and enjoyed painting them up, and we've had a few games with those, and that's why I'm now painting up an American Union army to go against them. I've enjoyed dabbling with some of the Too Fat Lardy games as well, and at a couple of shows we played the demo games of Infamy, and I quite like that. So yeah, in we go, more history, and this is my early Imperial Rome army for Infamy. Nearly finished, but it's certainly enough to have a game with. So that was the start of it, and we've got some more coming up. Had a dabble with 6mm Napoleonic as well. I've painted up a British, got to wait for John to do his French. Bit more bolt action. This is my army of East Africa, or 8th Army as well, which is a Ball of Fire, Indian 5th Division. I took that to Warlord Games tournament event. Here's an Italian bolt action army as well, a bit more of that. So yeah, very nice with those. So got all the bolt action army still. Sharp practice caught my eye, and for that I painted up a Peninsular British army. Yep, Perry plastics, and what I have got to do is at some stage this year paint up a French Peninsular army. So that's going to be on the painting table at some stage at the end of the year, I would think. Having painted up the Rebels and Patriots armies, we thought we'd try the Men Who Would Be Kings rules, another set from Osprey Games, very similar to Rebels and Patriots. And this time we went for the colonial side, and we went for British colonial against the Mahdists. And I've painted up enough to give me an army of both sides, as I do. So we've had a couple of games of those, and hopefully at some stage, once COVID is over, we'll get some more games in. Bit of a close-up now of some of the Roman stuff that I did. The Command Pack. Sabotaged 3D, did me the Milestone, and some more Romans. These are Victrix plastics, and they come up really nice. The basis again is sabotaged 3D, and then we started playing Congo. This game is by Studio Tomahawks, and we have had real good fun with this. Card driven, and we've now got a number of factions each, but they are really, really good fun game. Backed a little Kickstarter, which was a Baron's War, just to do small scale skirmish. And I've just got the Kickstarter that's been delivered for some more sergeants and some levy, just to give me a few figures aside. Although Baron Wars by Footsore and Andy Hobday comes with its own rules, I'll be using open combat because it's for more or less 7 to 8 figures aside. First of 2020 lockdown projects was the 10mm American Civil War. A bit more on the epic scale, and yeah, Warlord epic figures. We'll have a look at those later in the year, I think. Might have a dabble, we'll see. But these will do for the meantime. So building up both sides so that it gives me perhaps a brigade style type of gaming. Another of the 2020 lockdown projects was the ancient Germanic tribe, and that was to go against the early Imperial Rome for infamy. And this was a nice little painting project to keep me tided over during the first lockdown. And some really nice figures in here. These are all Victrix plastics once again. And the shields from Little Big Men. The shield transfers anyway. And then been painting up some terrain. This is the Stone Spears Tower from Fenris Games. Lovely stuff from them, Fenris Games. And we've got Iron Gate scenery. Been painting up some of these for the different periods, and they go through a number of periods from the ancients up to Congo and above. So bits of terrain here. These are from Bad Squiddo and Fenris, the Ristol stuff and the Fenris stuff. So yeah, really nice. And we'll finish off with the Waterwell from Iron Gate. Oathmark raised its little head, and we've painted up our dwarf army for that, which was fun painting the fantasy stuff again. Got some old Raoul Path of figures, and mixed in with that the metal Oathmark and the plastic Oathmark. They're really nice figures to paint up, and looking forward to playing the game once we can get back into the game store or around people's houses. But you've probably seen the pictures of those. Looking forward to these. I did enjoy them. So what else have we been up to? Well, as I say, it's been ongoing for the Op C line, and these are Bad Squiddo Games refugees or evacuees that she produced, and I've painted them up, and they'll go in with the Op C line. Add a little dabble with a company called First Corps and their Home Guard, slightly larger than Warlord, but very nice figures. I'm not sure whether I'll go with more of these, but they are really nice. And then we picked up the Scouts, and finally what's ongoing is the War of the Roses for the World War Roses Challenge. All Perry miniature plastics, and we're getting on very well with those. Still in the pipeline, as you know, is the American Civil War medals and the Fallschirmjäger medals. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Anyway, until the next time, take care and see you soon.